This meeting is being recorded.
Oh shit, I got a double intro from the fucking Zoom
Yeah.
speaker. But anywho, welcome to the Cult of Personality Podcast, Season 3, Episode 3. I'm your host per usual, Mikeymcchoppa, and with me today is Matthew the artist. How are you doing today?
Hello. I'm all right.
For anyone watching on YouTube, I don't know if this is gonna record funky or whatever. My meeting, this is all done and operated on Zoom, and my meeting right now is stacked like this instead of like this. So if there's a new look to the channel or a new overlay or something to freshen up the whole shebang, that's great. I wasn't expecting it, but here it is. Anywho, Matthew the artist, how are you doing? What's good? Welcome to the podcast.
I'm all right. I just woke up like 10 minutes ago, but I'm ready. Let's get this done. Let's do this.
Yes, sir. I was just checking out your stuff before the interview, and I had to say that it was unexpected because usually, like, I don't know, at least like for majority, with a few exceptions, we've had like mostly like alternative artists and like singers and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
automatically jumping into your discography or at least your like last album, it was very like I feel like inspired, like NF inspired, or like, like more lyrical rap type shit.
I mean, yeah, that is true. Hold on one second. Let me adjust myself real quick.
Oh, good.
Over here. But it's mainly inspired by Kanye and that 2010s era of rap music.
Mm-hmm.
At least for that project. But I do mostly do like trap rap stuff.
Right.
It's just I was trying something new with that one.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I haven't heard the NF comparison yet, actually.
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just getting very like lyrical rapper, and I was just like, I mean, I only listened to like the first 5 songs maybe just this
Uh,
morning, and but that was what I got. But that's pretty cool. How do you? That's kind of actually a niche inspiration. I feel like the early 2010s Kanye era type shit. How did that inspiration come to be?
it's just growing up. I I grew up with like those the radio, like the radio hits,
Mm-hmm.
and just like all that like the pop rap scene
Right.
kind of like inspired me.
Mm-hmm.
And when my brother introduced me to like more popular artists and guys like that, I discovered Kanye and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and that's really what inspired me for like music and like ending up to where I am now with my last album.
Right. Um, which that's a great inspiration. At least the album, I was obsessed with the album throughout like all of middle school, all of high school, all my childhood
Yeah.
type shit. But it's good that you applied such a fucking good album to your most recent album and like really took that consideration and that care, But
Yeah.
before we go any further, there is like a structure to this sorta, even though this whole podcast is unscripted and off the top of my head, I try to keep like a way of navigating questions. So usually our first question for guests is oh shit, why it's low laggy? Okay, we're good now. Usually our first question for guests that I've asked is it goes like this. Matt the Outlaw, or not Matt the Outlaw, that's a different artist. Matt the artist, the name, the image,
Yeah.
the aura, the energy, how to start, how to get here, and everything in between. It's kind of like your whole
S-
origin story.
all right. So basically, I used a rap name generator when I was younger because I was just curious,
Mm-hmm.
and it just came up with Matthew the Artist. I was like, oh, that sounds cool. It's just so I just stuck with it ever since.
Right.
It's kind of like a Post Malone thing or a Childish Gambino thing.
Right. Yeah, I know like the whole Childish Gambino thing was off like a Wu-Tang fucking name generator, name
Yeah,
generator.
yeah. So then I just started making music. It was ass at first,
When did you start?
like 2016,
All right. And
long time ago at this point.
yeah, what were you like aiming for, like sound wise and stuff? Who was like the guy
Um,
you were taking lead from or following, like, or was it just like your own thing?
I was I was just like an Eminem clone at that point, but I didn't know how to rap. So I had this little $15 microphone, and I was just doing whatever rhymed,
Hmm.
and it was ass. I was bullied in school because of it, but I think it's funny now.
That's terrible. I mean, it works out because it was just the starting point of where you are now, but that's
Yeah.
awful.
But no, ever since, you get better every year.
Right.
You discover something new about yourself, and you release a little bit more of your talent.
Right. No, yeah. That's funny. I mean, when I started, I was asked, and it was like really just trying to be like a Tyler the Creator clone. Like when I really first started. No,
Yeah.
when I really first started, it was like trying to like do some singy song shit, like on some like Bryson Tiller Black Bear shit.
Mm,
But then I eventually like got to like this weird phase where I was trying to be Tyler the Creator. So it was just like very obscenely vulgar, offensive raps about like what I felt like was important at the time or some shit like that, like just like
yeah.
angry, angry at everything. So I feel like we all start from very embarrassing origins in music, but it's all part of the the process.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So
We we all we all find ourselves.
right. So where are you from?
I'm from Arkansas.
Arkansas. How's that like? How was that growing up?
Well, originally I'm from Wisconsin, but we just moved here a few years ago.
And
But it's not bad. It's not awful. I mean,
it's kind of always fun hearing about these stories about people from kind of like these like states I really don't know anything about. Like, I feel
yeah,
like the pinpoints of like America are like Cali, New York, Chicago, shit like that. So
yeah,
how do you even find music or find the ability to want to create in such weird like niche areas of the country? It's just like internet shit, being on the internet.
yeah. Yeah, it's mainly internet stuff, but there's a few different like musicians here actually, at least in my area.
You guys have like your own little scene out there and shit.
A little bit actually. Yeah,
And
it's not very big though.
yeah, that's what I figured. I was like, damn, like Arkansas, like that's small or not small, but I feel like isolated as any other state in America that isn't like
Yeah,
metropolitan.
yeah. No, you're kind of right with that.
But no, yeah, it's really cool. I mean, for you to find some sort of like inspiration or find your way to being connected to other parts of the world and the country from Arkansas, with the internet and shit.
Yeah.
Um, so as Matthew the artist. You've always been Matthew the artist. There was no other alias previously or anything like that.
Nope.
Hmm.
No, it's just I've always been this.
And what was your fan base like looking like back in like 2016 or when you first started? Like, did you even build much of a fan base off like that Eminem clone shit?
No, I didn't have anything then actually.
Did you
There
go ahead.
there was a yeah, no. It was just people from my school that would just say like, "You're a bitch. You're ass."
Yeah, it's
And
just
I'd all right.
like local clout.
Yeah,
Or like even well, I guess bad publicity is still publicity, so I'll still call it clout, but like I feel you, you know?
yeah, yeah. But no, it started popping off in 2019, really.
And what caused that? Like how did
Uh,
your and also how did your sound change from 2016 to 2020 or 2023 now that
um
we're in?
yeah. Well, in 2016, I was just using like different rappers instrumentals and just basically doing remixes over them.
Right.
But like evolving, it would be like different YouTube type beats, like smoke perp type beats or whatever I could find that I like the sound of. And then I started making my own beats, which is when I made my song Simple in 2019,
Hmm.
which is currently my most popular song
How many plays did
with
that rack up?
on Spotify it's like 36K.
All right, that's pretty good numbers.
Yeah, it's not bad, not bad.
And
Um then I started getting my own producers,
hmm.
which is where my last few albums got their production from.
Right. And what caused the spike in popularity, at least with that one song? Just the algorithm, or was there some sort of like
Um
marketing tactic, music videos, something?
it's I had a flashy visual and I spent like $150 on Instagram promotions
All right.
and it worked.
It worked out well. That's what's up. I didn't even know like those things actually worked. Like I tried promoting something once. I think it was like a music video post or some shit. But
Mm,
I was cheap about it. I spent like like $20, you know.
yeah.
Fucking it didn't go too far. But that's really cool. That's cool that you like had this like little, you know, like tactic or whatever of maneuvering and got some exposure on yourself, you know?
Yeah. But
S-
yeah, no, because with the album that came from Because of Simple,
mhm.
it got me more plays
Right.
than any like other album I released. So I'm very thankful for that.
That's what's up. And where did that newfound like exposure or like realizing like yo I could really do this or some shit like affect how you were making your music or what you were making or like where you wanted to take your music or anything like that, or was it kind of just like all right, this is like I'm doing this and this is doing good, let me keep doing this?
Well, it was simple. It was a lo-fi song,
Hmm.
and that's basically it was a one and done thing
Okay.
because it was like I'll experiment with it. People like it. Well, I want them to hear the stuff that I want to make.
Right.
So yeah,
So
no,
where did you take it from there?
I just did whatever I wanted basically.
All right. But like as in whatever you wanted, what was whatever you wanted? Like what followed, like track
Mm.
wise, sound wise? Like were you doing some more rap
Um,
shit? Did you switch over to anything else? Like what was in your mind
um,
at that time?
I mean, it's a mixture actually of like that rap shit, like the tiniest bit of lo-fi, some pop shit.
That's
It's
what's up.
it's all over the place.
Yeah. Um moving henceforth. which we'll discuss more of your discography later into the interview too. I kind of bring it back and forth and all over the place because that's how I work. But um, usually like our little second question or a little question I like to ask right after that because I feel like they can coincide a little. It's like inspirations. Uh, Pretty much like musical inspirations, musical artists that you listen to, you and took, whether it's a kid all the way to yesterday, that
Hmm.
inspire your sound, your discography, your creative process, anything of the sort. It could be the most famous artist you know. It could be the guy who lives next door who makes shit in his basement. You know, just give me it all, the whole rundown.
All right. So obviously Kanye. Um,
Which I feel like
Probably.
some people would think you're like super controversial for saying that in 2023, low key. But I'm
Okay, 2010s Kanye.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. You could have said
Yeah,
2023 Kanye or 2022 Kanye because he hasn't made anything this year, and I would have been like,
yeah.
that's completely understandable. I respect it, you know. But go on.
Um, a little bit of Eminem there, obviously. Shit. It's just like everybody, really. Just
Right.
no matter who it is, there'll be inspiration brought to me, basically. Because I'm inspired by Ski Mask, X,
Excuse me.
sound wise, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Go ahead.
definitely Kanye. But it's just a little bit of everyone.
All right. Yeah. No, you mentioned X and Ski Mask, and that's cool. I fuck with everybody you named, especially like I liked really like old Eminem when it came to Eminem. Like, I was really into
Yeah,
like his first like LP type shit, but when it comes to like newer age rappers and stuff like that, it's always cool because I think we are forever stuck in this like SoundCloud wave, or at least like the the repercussions or like the lingering elements of the SoundCloud wave. So when
yeah,
people mention, I feel like everyone has inspiration from that scene and shit like that. So I was kind of waiting for that. I was like, there's no way it could only be 2010s Kanye and Eminem. But I definitely hear like, at least for me with my ears, and maybe I'm just stupid, but like when I listened to this last project again, of what I have listened to of you, it very much I got the Eminem vibe, like the faster rap shit. But
mm,
speaking of your last album, moving on from inspirations, I kind of want to talk about the creative process of that and how you came to like think like, yo, I want to make an album, whether it was like, hey, I have a couple singles that I made and I think they would sound good together, or like I want to work on this project and only this project, and I'm gonna build it from the first track to the last track exactly the way I want it to be. Like it was always gonna be an album. Just tell me the whole
yeah.
creative process of how that went.
So the album started in 2021, basically,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's just over time it became one album. Then I released what I had with that. I basically rushed it out. I was like, this isn't what I wanted to make. Then I released another album, and it's like, this is the exact opposite of what I wanted to make it. I don't know what the fuck I was doing.
Right.
So then I really just put my mind in on the ego death, and then because that's kind of what I was feeling at the time when
Mm-hmm.
I was making it.
Is that name like actually inspired by like any psychedelics or anything like that? Because usually ego dust comes
Um,
under like shrooms or acid or shit, or is it just kind of like to go for like that aesthetic?
it's kind of go for the aesthetic, but there was a time where I felt like, without doing any psychedelics or anything, a time where I did truly feel like I went through one.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really know how to explain it. It's weird,
Right.
but I wanted to basically put my all and be super personal with a project.
Right. And that came to be ego death. And I mean, how did you so like with certain tracks? Is there any certain tracks that cover or you confide into any certain topics that you've maybe went through or experienced in life? Like, give me the in depth of the album.
Um, like with the first track, Legendary, that it covers basically how my my mental health basically,
Right.
and basically how I feel like it's been declining,
Mm-hmm.
which is why I have the line where it's like I talk about my son being born, and then I didn't cry, and I was thinking to myself like, why am I not crying?
I heard that lyric, and I want to ask, like, do you have a son? You have a child?
Yes, yes, I do.
How that's crazy. This is the first time I think I've had a guest with a kid. And how does that have that taken away from like your music or anything? Not music like as in like your emotion or anything in it, but like the time away from making music and shit like that.
Yes, definitely. Because he just turned a year old a few days
Mm,
ago.
that's crazy, man. Well, that's awesome. Congratulations to you.
Thank
That's
you.
cool though. Fucking that you still, I mean, even persist and continue to do this shit despite, I guess having like those responsibilities, you know?
Yeah,
So continue on though with the emotional uh, turmoil within your album and how it played a part.
yeah. Here, let me find the track list real quick, because I'm drawing a blank right now. All right, so with my song Tension, which is a song I produced,
Hmm.
it's basically about my struggles as basically an artist and feeling like I I haven't overcome the popularity of my biggest song, and basically saying how I want to do better,
Right.
and I touch upon my past like struggles with drugs,
Okay.
and I do end it like the verse like basically saying that I'm glad that there are like bigger artists from an older age who do appreciate my music, but I feel like there is a time where I should basically stop making it.
How come?
It's just I have a family. There needs to be a time where I should all put it aside.
Mm. So
Um,
let me ask
oh,
you
sorry.
something as in because I was thinking about asking like something close to it, but I guess I'll ask it now. Because I was gonna ask with things like that, like with a family and with a child and responsibilities like that, like how does that take effect into your future? And do you see music in your future from a long period of time, or do you see it kind of as a phase or something that will taper off?
Um, I, I do hopefully plan on making music for the rest of my life, which
Hmm.
every musician is like that.
Hmm.
But yeah, there probably will be a time where I do take a long break from it. But probably no matter what, I'm going to release some type of music.
All right, so you're remaining persistent despite other things, which is cool. Because
Yeah,
I was wondering, I was like, damn, like is he saying right now that like one day he's just gonna quit music? Like that's like what I was low key getting from what you were saying before, and like you clarified on it.
yeah.
Is that a a fear of yours or
Um,
a insecurity that you will forget or like stop making music for other responsibilities, or is it just something that if it happens, it happens, and you're just like, whatever.
it's a bit of a fear, but yeah, it's really if it happens, it happens. But yeah, no matter what, there will be something from my past that will remind people that I created something and it's something that people love.
Right. So let me ask you another thing. What would be like your plan, or what action would you take into effect? Like, let's say if your music did really good and you like fucking blew up, and you have your
Yeah.
family life and things on one hand, but you also have like this newfound fame or this newfound career or this like rejuvenation within your career through music. What's your move then?
Hold on, can you ask that one more time?
Hmm. Um, Pretty much your music gets really popular, right? Whatever.
Right.
You have on one hand or on one side of your life, you have your responsibilities in your home life and your stability and your child and everything like that. But also on the other hand, you have your career, this fame, this rejuvenation within your career through music. What's your move
Yeah.
then? What action do you take into effect then, trying to balance the two?
Um, well, right now it's kind of like that because I'm always wanting to record something,
Right.
but it's difficult, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, because I think there's so many other elements that come in with once you get discovered, it's like so many more elements than just, the music at that point. So it's like, I kind of like,
Yeah.
I'm simply just curious because you're the first guest we've had on here with like that sort of aspect of their life even existing. Because a lot of people,
Mm,
they're on their own or they have their own lives or like whatever, but they don't have like a family that they've created, or people who are still
yeah.
living with their parents or going to school, so this is a very much first, and I'm like, damn, like what would happen or what would you do in these
Right.
situations?
Right. Because right now, we're back and forth from mine and my wife's parents right now
Hmm.
because we're struggling at this moment.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, it's very difficult juggling both.
Right. Yeah, so I can only imagine then, well, I'm sorry about that, number one. And number
No, it's
two,
alright.
I can only imagine like I feel like even my going back to the question I asked, like I guess fame and I guess the money would help with the fame, but it's
Oh yeah,
also like
no, definitely.
like a lot of things taking away from that aspect of your life. So I guess it's like
Yeah,
you win some, you lose some.
right.
Right, right, right. Moving on forward, I like to talk about the future just a little bit besides questions like these, but more so just discography based, which is
Yeah.
you just recently put out this album Ego Death. What are the plans for any of your other EPs, albums, or creative projects, or even outside of music creative endeavors, whether it's like things like merchandise maybe,
Mm,
or fucking booking shows, or
yeah.
creating another album, creating another EP, things like that. What do you got on the
Um,
radar?
well, I'm always making some type of project because
Hmm.
with the way my fan base is it's not like they don't like singles. They more like an album experience,
Hmm.
and then they pick and choose whatever songs to put on their playlist. But yeah, no, I'm always working on some kind of project or some kind of music. So I'm ever growing
Hmm.
into whatever idea I have.
All right. Um,
Because
Go ahead.
with sorry, uh, with this next project, it's very important to me because there's
Mhm.
a lot of big artists and producers on it.
Right. And who do you got on there?
I got a Cash Money AP for production.
Okay.
I got Nick Mira for production.
All right.
Uh, There was supposed to be a Rick Ross feature, but I had to scrap that.
Are you busting my balls right now?
No, I'm not busting your balls. We are recording. We are live right now.
But Nick Mira, Cash Money AP production. If you're not busting my balls, how did these come to be?
Um, Beat Stars.
All right, fair enough.
I paid $50 for them.
That's not. Those aren't bad prices for a fucking Nick
No,
Mira or Cash Money AP beat at all.
no, but with the features, that's just I I know people who know people, really,
All right.
because
So, what other features were you planning, or do you have planned, or whatever, for this
um
possible
I was
project?
planning on having a Rich the Kid feature,
Hmm.
but scrap that
All right.
because every time that I was send the vocals, they just sounded like shit.
Right.
So I just scrapped them.
Um. Well, taking like kind of an element of that and turning it in a different direction.
Yeah,
Talking more so about smaller artists. I interviewed for episode 1 of season 3 episode. Uh, I interviewed Lone Dova, and I know you
yeah.
guys. How do you know Lone Dova? How did that friendship or collaboration relationship come to be?
That is from when Cabs Control made the Valentine in December beat,
Hmm.
like the all girls are the same beat,
Right.
and I used it. I tagged him in a post promoting the song, like a snippet of it,
Hmm.
and then he listened to some of my music. I listened to his music, and we just kind of like we meshed. We just started talking a lot and became like best friends ever since.
That's what's up. No, yeah, I definitely wondered about that because you guys seem cool and tight and stuff like that. Were you a part of that fucking collective, the Lockers?
Yeah, yeah, I was me and him made it together,
Right.
but
Give me
that
your run
that
through with that, or like how you feel about that, because he talked about it briefly, but I always like to hear everyone's side of everything, you know?
oh, it was great. I loved having lockers be a thing because it was so many different people collaborating, but we disbanded recently,
Hmm.
but now it's just back to me and Dova as a
Right,
duo.
right.
But no, it was a great thing. I loved lockers.
No, that's great. Yeah, no, it's cool. I think I was talking to him about like the like why I think collectives are so important and why they're so great for music and things like that. So I do like to talk about them quite a lot on this podcast.
Yeah,
But no, yeah, that you definitely got some solid plans for the future and you got some good connections, it seems. That's why I want to like emphasize on that a bit. But no, yeah, moving on forward, maybe a little bit outside of music, uh or maybe like including like surrounding music but not exactly music, like any plans
yeah.
or any plans or any established already posted like music videos or media like that.
Hmm. Uh, no, it's just I might drop some new merch, and that's about it.
Well, let's talk about that. Do you have Oh, there goes my water bottle. Do you have any existing merch or any merch in plan or anything
Uh,
like that?
yes, yes, I do for Ego Death, and that's about it right now.
Well, promote that shit. We putting that shit in the description, link below.
I bet.
But no,
Yeah,
yeah, that's what's up.
it's really good merch.
And how did that come to be? What made you decide like, yeah, I want to do merch for this release and shit like that?
Um, I just thought I want a shirt with the album cover on it, and that was it.
Fair enough. How do you do that? Was it through like manufacturers or through
It's
Amazon
like
or
Spreadshirt, really.
all right,
Just cheap, free.
right. All right, that's what's up. Um what was I gonna say? I'm thinking right now, or going through the fucking creases of my brain to think if I have any other questions. Um, but I will ask you if there was anything before, like I kind of guess wrap it up even. If there is anything corners or crevices of Matthew the artist that you want covered on your interview, because at the end of the day, this is your episode, this is your interview.
Yeah.
You discuss what you want. So if there's anything I missed or did not talk about that you'd want to talk about, now would be the time to do so before we kind of
Yeah.
wrap it up.
I don't really know, to be honest. It's just watch out for next release, which at this moment is Walmart Part 3, a part of Mikeymcchoppa's Walmart trilogy
Okay.
of
And
of
how did that
songs.
come? How did that come to be?
We both took selfies in Walmarts, and then we were like, let's make a song called Walmart, and he was like, bet, and it just became a thing, where once a year we make a song called Walmart.
All right, that's cool. Any
Then recently I just released a compilation album of a bunch of my old SoundCloud songs with some unreleased stuff.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
shit for the original fucking day one fans.
yes, sir. But yeah, I don't really know what we could touch on. We touched on a little bit of everything.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's why I'm like here. Like, I think I covered all bases, from what I've picked up and from what I've picked up on in our conversation. Um, and yeah, man, I'm glad to have had you on. Uh, let me
I'm
do
glad
the
to be
wrap.
on.
Let me do this little wrap up question, and then we'll say our farewell and stuff like that. Which is
All
pretty
right.
much Matthew the artist. What do you have going on in the next day, week, month, year, decade, century, millennium? And it doesn't have to be music related. It could be what you're eating for breakfast tomorrow. Just kind of give us, what you got going on. What's the plans for the future? You know, what's going on?
Just recording music, taking care of my baby, taking care of my baby mama,
Hmm.
chilling with my cats, watching TV, playing fucking, I don't know, video games. Uh, yeah,
Shit like that.
nothing.
All right, man. Yeah. Which now leads us to pretty much the fucking wrap up of the podcast, which was that this was the Cult of Personality podcast, hosted by yours truly, Mikeymcchoppa. With me today was Matthew the artist. And thank you guys for tuning in for however long this episode was. Thank you for sitting with me for however this long this episode was and answering my trivial questions. Um,
Yes, sir.
this was episode 3. I have to record episode 4 and 5 today in the same day.
God damn.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be in the same fit with the same look, doing the same shit. It's chill. But yeah, that was it pretty much. See you guys next week. That should be fucking BJ Swizzle. If it's not, then it's whoever else I fucking have on the interview or however I upload these. Anyway, again, thank you. All his links will be in the description below.
Yes, sir.
Shout out Kanye, and we out. Peace.